clown is definitely looking at my IP address right now.
I'm sorry. I chose my targets poorly. Right, do you two want to fucking get in there and... Oh, Lord!
Are you guys known for attempting to break people out?
I haven't broken anybody out in this county, but I have in other counties.
Do the sheriffs here know you?
I can't... Hello, everybody! Oh, good, we do. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so why can't we see the game? Oh, because I need to change it over. There we go. Okay, this should hopefully just take a wee second to load on in. There we go. Hey, Frank, how's it going? How's it going? Well, I know that I haven't really been living up so well to my reputation as a variety streamer purely because of the coursework and shit that I've been having to do recently. But I am in fact a variety streamer, and for once we're doing some variety stuff. I mean, we're not. We're gonna go back to that later. But yeah. So we're going to be doing some Titanic Honor and Glory today. What game is this? This is Titanic Honor and Glory. Which basically is by a group. I don't know what their intentions are. But they were planning on doing a game based around a slightly fictional story of the Titanic sinking. At the moment, I think with everything taking as long as it has, because it's really been like a small team project, they've been sticking to actually just kind of recreating the Titanic in the kind of most faithful way that they can. So where do we want to board is the question. So basically, I've covered the demos on stream before, but I've kind of I've covered the demos on stream before, but they keep adding new stuff. So quite excited to see how this goes. What new areas have been added? Because I am nothing if not a massive fucking Titanic nerd. Yeah, it's great getting to explore all of the nook and crannies. Okay, here we go. So I think we're starting on B deck here. Now, is there really just no audio at all? I think not. I did wonder if there was a... You can crouch, why can you crouch? Okay, that's fine. That's the button that I wanted. That's the button that I wanted. Cool. So yeah, basically at various points throughout the Titanic, I'm gonna see if I can find one. I'm not sure if I can find one here straight away, but there is little maps dotted around the place that show you what areas are accessible. So I guess at the moment we need to decide whether or not we want to start from the top and work our way down, or start from the bottom and work our way up. One of the greatest maritime accidents is a whole lot more than just hitting an iceberg. Yeah. It is a complicated thing. It's a whole yeah, it's a whole thing. What do you think, since you're chatting away there, Frank? Do you think we should start from the top of the ship and work our way down, or the bottom and work our way up? Since I currently passengers wishing to follow the fitting out of the Titanic We do so on Patreon, yes. Well, you are closer to the top. Yeah, but I can't. Fair enough. Okay, we'll go all the way up to the tippy toppy then. So this is us now on the. So this is us now on the boat deck. So let's actually just go outside. Let's just go outside and start from here. So this is the one thing that they've added is the ability to actually go outside for once. Both, Frank, both. So White Star Line is the operator of the ship, but Harland and Wolf is the one who actually built it. It's kind of weird that there's no audio at all. Where's the front? Front's over this way. Okay. Cool. So these are spaces that you could never actually get to before. So you can basically see the Titanic's ill-equipped lifeboat dock. Oh, wow. It's been a while since we've had one of those. /ban. Doop. There we go. Banned. Yeah, okay, actually, we'll talk about this. So basically, welcome to the Titanic. So this is the kind of, this is the boat deck. So this is the kind of uppermost deck you could actually get to on the Titanic. And you can see the paltry equipment of lifeboats. And basically, the original design specification for the Titanic called for the entirety of this wall here to be lined with lifeboats. But actually, that never happened because they decided. So this is the first class space. This little poultry area here, this is quite funny. This is the engineers' promenade here. So this is basically where the engineers. So this stairwell would take you all the way down into the engine rooms. And the engineers would come out, and this was their promenade, and then you've got the second class promenade beyond there. So this space was all the first class people, i.e. the people who are paying crazy money to be on the Titanic. And so the last thing you want is to spoil their view with fucking lifeboats. So basically, they cut them back. The other logic for why there was a lack of lifeboats on the Titanic was that it was felt, particularly with the advent of radio communications, that a ship in distress, particularly a large ship in distress, would be close enough to another ship that they don't need lifeboats for all of their passengers and crew, because what they'll be doing instead is using the lifeboats to ferry between two ships that are side by side, because it was felt that a large ship could stay afloat long enough in order to facilitate that. Obviously, we all know that that didn't exactly pan out so well. So yeah, this is the first class promenade, and here is the compass tower, which is a fascinating little thing. So because the Titanic is made of fucking iron, which is but do you know what? The fact that there's no music at all really is weirding me out. So I'm gonna go into my. I usually reserve this for my roleplay streams, but we're gonna go and hit up. I'm gonna hit up some music for exploring. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So can we actually see in here? We should be able to see in here. So basically, because of the iron hull of the Titanic, that can skew with the compass, and there's 3 compasses. So basically, they've got this compass tower, which is raised above the platform, mostly made of wood, but you can still see there's a little bit of metal there, which allows the compass to be that little bit more accurate. But I want to climb up here. God damn it. So yeah, we can come down. So we're now on the A deck, and you've basically got the first class. You've got the first class kind of open promenade. So you've basically got the boat deck, which is like an open air space, And then you've basically got the promenade. The water looks real good. We're not looking at the water, Frank. We're looking at the fucking Titanic. So yeah. Oh, what's this? What's this? So you can see here, this is all open air. The water physics are important too. Yeah, that's true. And then you start getting into the enclosed space, and I think if we go down a deck, I think if we go down a deck. Oh wait, I might not be able to from here. That's a crew quarters. We'll explore there in a little bit. So I think there's like a fully enclosed promenade below this, but I'm struggling to remember. No, it's if we're on the A deck, yeah, it'll be cabins below us. Oh well, never mind. So yeah, basically you've got a mixture of open and closed spaces for if the weather gets a bit meh. But yeah, quite nice space for the first class passengers. And then if we go all the way to the Bayak again, so many little doors and nooks and crannies. And it's funny because, like, obviously the Titanic is so luxurious for its time, but for those of us who've been on, like, a modern cruise, we'll probably find the Titanic quite, like, lacking in its features. What the fuck's this? So this is machinery for something or other. Is this for the second class lift? So I think the second class staircase is there. So that might be the winch machine for the second class lift. Can't quite remember. Where the fuck is that staircase? I was gonna say, where's that staircase we just came down? Because I'm not finding it. Yeah, so if we come upstairs again, back up here. So let's go to the engineer's promenade. So yeah, there's a couple of, so basically they've added the Scotland Road. Okay, so basically they've added like a couple of teleporting things. So Scotland Road's down on, oh, I'm gonna butcher this. It's either E deck or F deck. I think it's F deck. So you can see that this is actually like a small little staircase. Takes you all the way down to Scotland Road. I'm not going to take that one just now. But basically, this is a small space that the engineering officers could come up to enjoy some time out. And then we can go to the second class promenade. Okay, so second class promenade is, you know, still quite fancy. And you can see how, you can see it's kind of restricted by the presence of the lifeboats. Ooh, the crew companionway. Wait. I was like fucking jail cells. What the fuck? Not actually sure what's in there. Do you know what I should probably do? I should probably, so in the game files, there is actually a PNG of all the places that you can explore. It's like a fucking 30 megabyte image, by the way. It's really funny. Okay, so demo. Oh, no, fuck. No! I did it bad. I bet it. I just opened the game twice. Okay, we're good. Right, map guide. Okay, let's wait for that 30 gigabyte fucking image to load. And then, aha, here we go. Okay. So where are we? We are in... Oh, that's what that is. Okay, all right. Okay. So what you're looking at in there is the kennels. That's where passengers' dogs are kept. That's quite funny, actually. This is the casing that protects the dome over the aft grand staircase. There's also another space here, apparently, that we can access. I think is it this one? crew companionway. Let's see if this is it. Oh, this is a big staircase going down. Okay, well, we're staying at the top just now, so let's just finish at the top. Okay, let's go further back a little bit. So this is the second class staircase in here. And you can see, yeah, so you've got lift. And it doesn't stop on, there's no lift stop on A deck. So the doors will open, you go in there. And so notice how the first class passengers had 3 lifts, second class passengers have 1, and the third class passengers have absolutely fucking nothing. So yeah, no stop on A deck because there's no reason to stop on A deck because it's just this fucking bit of glass. Okay. So this is this is now looking out towards the aft of the Titanic. That's the poop deck. Let's go right to the front and we'll have a look at some of the officers' accommodations and the bridge of the Titanic, the thing that makes it go. Right, let's move this to slightly more. Okay. What I might do actually is I might tweak myself over this way because there was one thing that we didn't really get a good look at. Which is quite fun because it's not something that you really got to see not something that you really got to see in the well, very often in ships of the time, I guess. Because the Titanic was one of the most luxurious ships to come out of of its time. So basically, this is a bit misshapen. So like, if we kind of look at it from, let's try and look at it from back here. Yeah, you can see how there's a building on the right side, but if we go to the left side of this fan, it's a lot more open space. And I'll show you why that is. We got a glimpse of it earlier, but we'll take a look at it just now, real quick. Not seamless loading, sadly, but meh. What can ya do? Okay, fine. So here we go. So this is us in the forward grand staircase. So basically this is probably one of the biggest staircases, and this is obviously one of the most famous staircases. Because you've basically got the big dome, the big famous dome. You've got Honor and Glory, which is the centerpiece that you can see here on the staircase. This features quite heavily in a lot of the movies that have ever been made in the Titanic. It's a very, very, very famous place. Anyway, here is the gymnasium, which is kind of not something, not really something that, it's a very luxurious thing to find on an ocean liner of this time. But it doesn't look very much like a gym that you or I would know, because it's times have changed. So this is how fitness was. So you got the massage table, you've basically got the bikes, and you've got this really cool thing. You can actually race the bikes, which I think is quite cool, using this little clock thing here. Got yourself a speed bag, which if you played Titanic, An Adventure Out of Time, you'll remember you can actually go into the gymnasium and use the stuff. You've got rowing space. I'm not entirely. This is going to be some kind of weight machine because that looks like a kind of weighted like pulley drum, but I'm not sure exactly by what mechanism it works. The fucking. To practice your horse riding, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone want to practice horse riding? So basically, you would go on this, and that drum would spin, the pulleys would pull, and the saddle would ride backwards and forwards. You could practice your horse riding. This probably is going to be some kind of leg weight machine. I'm not too sure. And then I've got no idea what this shit's supposed to be. So that looks like where your back and your head's gonna go. So maybe some kind of bench press. And you got other riding machines. So yeah, welcome to an early 1900s fucking gymnasium. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna have a look at the bridge and some of the officers' spaces. So I think we do have to go through this door. You've got some electric generators here with nice running water next to the electricity. I'm not sure. Is there any other spaces in here we can see? So I think it's about here, or it might be over there. But in the Britannic, the Titanic was the second of the 3 Olympic class liners, and the third one, Britannic, was actually going to be the first of the Olympic class liners and the first major ocean liner to actually feature a dedicated creche area for kids, which is quite interesting. But obviously, Britannic got requisitioned to be a hospital ship before. Oh, sorry. I've just noticed on the thing. So that wasn't an electricity generator room. That was the gear room for the lift. So what is here? Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. So this is. So although the ship itself was operated by the White Star Line, the radio communication equipment was not operated by the White Star Line, and that is basically because it was such a complicated equipment. It was such complicated equipment. I'll show you why in a second. But it was operated by the people who made it. It was called Marconi. And they provided their own crew. They are known as the Marconi officers. So come in here. So basically, this is the system for how it all worked. Or this is only part of the system. So if I come through here, so this is basically this is basically how you control everything to do with the communication of the Titanic. And this is early wireless communications, and all it could do, as you know from Morse code, was just a series of dashes and dots, one noise in differing tones, and that was how you communicate. And it requires all of this equipment and all of this power in order to do it. So you had your telephone to be able to contact other departments. And at various points throughout the ship, passengers could write notes of shit they wanted the Marconi officers to send, and they would put it in these pneumatic air systems, and it would just go woof, and it would arrive there, and they could Morse code, yep. They could just deliver messages to be sent straight to the wireless office. MGY is Titanic's call sign, and this absolutely nightmarish chart here is basically the things that you need on how to be able to communicate with places. Look at this shit. Like, how fucking messy is that? That is just fucking hell. And this is where the Marconi officers would sleep. This is their cabin. One would be on duty, and then they would swap around. And this is basically what that's basically what a telegram would look like. Those of us who have played Wild RP are kind of familiar with that. If we step outside for a second, I might be able to show you something. Yeah. So if you want to know how big the whole setup is, so if we have a look here, so basically this is where you communicate the shit. So you've got your headset to listen in for beeps and boops, and you've got your Morse code senders and receivers to actually communicate the messages. You've got all your switches, dials, and settings, and then all of your machinery here. And actually, what does the sending and the receiving of the signals is, you see where I'm looking, there is these 4 wires. So these 4 wires start at the foremast and go all the way to the end of the ship. There's a big mast at the end of the ship, and that it has a similar connection like this. And that is the Marconi signal receiver. That is the radio transmitter of the Titanic itself. So when in the Britannic, when it sank, the force of the explosion actually tore this from the foremast, which meant it was very limited in the signals that it could send and receive, although it did have enough range to be able to pass on. The vast majority of the Titanic's lifeboats were these rigid hull types, but there were 4 of what's called the collapsible ones. So this is one of the collapsible ones here, and there's another one up there. And the reason why they're called collapsible, so the rigid ones you can see here are wood, the entire height of the shell. Whereas the collapsible, the wood only kind of goes up to the halfway mark, and then it's got this fabric canvas side, which can collapse, hence the name collapsible, for easier storage, and then can be raised up to form a waterproof side. So I don't know if we can go through the other side, if it's maybe got one uncovered. So you can see this quite well in the Britannic game that Titanic Honor and Glory team released. Yeah, okay, it doesn't really have them cut. Okay, it's got them covered. So because of the collapsible sides, what you can actually have is a collapsible boat and then a rigid boat sitting on top of it in the davits, so that every lifeboat has the potential for being able to launch. Every davit has the potential to launch 2 lifeboats. But yeah, anyway. So I don't think there's any more accessible spaces. Yeah, I really don't. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything in here. No. So this is the captain's sitting room that's in here, and I think this is all at the captain's quarters. And basically the other officers of the ship all kind of live on this side, but we can't go into any of these spaces yet. So we'll have a look at the bridge. So welcome to the bridge of the Titanic. So the bridge of the Titanic is separated into the wheelhouse, which is here, which is a protected space for the it's a protected space for if the wind is pretty violent, and then you can come out onto the bridge here, which has the engine controls, and then you can come out and you've basically got what's called the flying bridge, which basically you can see quite clearly the front of the ship, and then you can kind of look down the side. They're glass, so you can't lean your head round, but yeah, you can kind of get a good look of the shit that you're having to deal with. So let's have a look at some controls, shall we? So basically you've got the telephones. These telephones connect you to various parts of the ship. I'm trying to see if it actually tells you where it goes, but it doesn't. But you see this used in the oh, here we go. Here's the little map thing that I am referring to. So this is where we are just now. Everything in red is somewhere that we can visit. Everything in pink is somewhere that we can see. and everything in white is somewhere that's not been rendered yet. So there's quite a lot of spaces. But yeah, anyway. So here's another compass. So there's 3 compasses. Actually, there's 4 compasses. There's one here, one there, one on the compass tower, and one on the aft bridge. Yeah, basically these little plaques here tell you, you know, your directions for things. I think it's basically. I'm trying to work out if this is actually designed to be like an oncoming ship, so you know which one. So actually, can I just have a look? Because you can in Britannia. No, there's no jump function in this, but there's a light there that tells you what it is. I'm just curious. Okay, no. Wait, am I stuck? Can I crouch? Yeah, I can crouch, that's fine. Okay. So, yeah, so basically there is, there's white for the rear of the ship. Your red is your left side or your port side, and your green is your starboard, or right-hand side. So basically, you can kind of use these lights to work out which direction a ship is heading. So if you can see a red light only, you know that you're looking at the left side of a ship, and it is traveling. It will be traveling kind of to the left. Similar with the green, you're looking at the right side of the ship, and it's traveling to the right. If you can see red and white, so I'm not aware of ships having a white light at the back, but they do have a white light, particularly at the top of the foremast. So if you can see red and white, it means you're looking kind of diagonally at the front left side of the ship, and it's kind of traveling kind of towards you for a bit. If you can see all 3 colors, red, white, and green, it's heading right towards you. There might be more lighting things. I'm not that clued up on my kind of maritime regulation type bullshit. Anyway, enough chatting about that. So, your telemotor is your steering wheel, basically. And obviously the Titanic rudder was absolutely fucking massive. So you turn the wheel, and it doesn't directly attach to the rudder because it's just too heavy. The Titanic's rudder is like fucking 3 or 4 stories tall, weighs tons upon tons. So instead of turning it directly, this telemotor powers a massive steam generator, which is what actually moves the rudder. And this is the main way in which you control the ship. So yeah, this is how you actually control the ship. Now, I had a lot of difficulty getting my head around this the first couple of times I saw the bridge of the Titanic, because there's a lot of fucking redundancy here. So basically, you have a look at this, and this, and this, and they all do the exact same thing. They're identical, and I didn't realize that at first. Because you see here, this has got one for port and one for starboard. So I think it's one of the things in James Cameron's depiction of the Titanic film, when you see Murdoch running, and he runs up to one and he changes it, and then he runs up to the other and he changes it. That's not actually quite accurate. You can control all of the ship's engines for just one of these, and the reason for it is because of the if you're maneuvering around something that's over here, the last thing you want to do if you need to change the engine is, you know, come all the way over here to change 1, and then all the way over here to change 2. It's a very simple, well, it's a complicated system of like pulleys is what this this actually runs under. So basically, this works by communicating a signal to a different place using a system of pulleys. So basically, if I wanted to, so apparently it's on a head full just now. So you grab the handle and you would move it to, let's say, stop. So right up at the top. What happens is in the engine room, they then get that signal, and once they have, once they've acknowledged that signal, once they've received that signal, they acknowledge it. They've got a very similar looking thing down in the engine room, and they move it to the stop position. And what happens is that that little needle in the middle will then move to stop up in the bridge, and that basically is the way that it tells them, it tells the bridge that you have received a the engine room have received your instruction and they're now carrying it out. You've basically got a little RPM dial here as well, which tells you how quickly the engines are moving, which obviously is a bit ironic because it's showing all stop here and full ahead here, so a little bit of a mismatch, but hey ho. So the thing is, these are the general, so it's got port engine and it's got starboard engine, but actually Titanic had 3 engines. So it had its port reciprocating engine, its starboard reciprocating engine, and then in the middle it had a turbine engine. Now the problem with the turbine, and you kind of let onto this a little bit, Frank, when you were chatting about how complicated the actual Titanic sinking was. There is a school of thought that basically says, and it's all just conjecture because we'll never know the exact circumstances. But there is a school of thought that suggests that if Murdoch hadn't tried to reverse the engines when the Titanic sank, it might have cleared the asteroid. Fucking hell! It might have cleared the iceberg. And the reason for it is that the Titanic only had 1 rudder, 3 engines but 1 rudder, and the rudder sits right behind the turbine engine, which is in the middle. Now, for those of you who don't know, in hydrodynamics, water has to be moving past a surface so that when you change that surface, it changes direction. So if you're not moving and you move the rudder, nothing is going to happen to you. Nothing at all is going to happen to you. You need that flow of water in order for that change in surface to actually mean something to the ship. Now, because the turbine can only either stop or go forward, it cannot reverse. When Murdoch reversed the engines of the Titanic on seeing the asteroid, fucking hell, I keep doing this. On seeing the iceberg, the turbine engine, which sits right in front of the rudder, couldn't reverse, so it was stopped. And by stopping the turbine, the flow of water disappeared. It basically relied on the kind of ship's momentum to turn the ship, which, with the engines in reverse, was reducing and reducing and reducing. So the ship's ability to steer itself was also reducing. So they went hard to port, but with the turbine off and the other engines reversing, the ship just couldn't steer all that well. So it's a very, very complicated thing. Anyway, so this is completely identical to this, and it's just a preference based on what side that you're doing your maneuvers on. In the event that the primary system failed, the basis for that theory was rivets. No, I'm not talking about the rivets, Frank. I'm talking about the rudder. So the rivets are what holds the iron plates together, whereas the rudder is what steers the ship. So it's like very, very different things. And so what I'm talking about is that by stopping the turbine engine, the rudder became ineffective, and so the ship couldn't steer. So there's an argument to be made that had the engines kept going, then there would have been enough control over the rudder for the Titanic to successfully steer around the iceberg. What you're talking about is basically the theory, and it is a relatively good theory, that had the Titanic just crashed head on into the fuck dick. That was a lot louder than I was expecting. Spooky Spoony, welcome on in. How are you doing? So the theory of the head-on collision is basically, had the Titanic just crashed straight into the iceberg, that there would have been a big jolt, and maybe the first compartment or two would have flooded, but it wouldn't have sank. And that's happened quite a lot in history leading up to the Titanic, is that ships would just crash head-on into icebergs and then they would be afloat. Spooky Spoony, how was your stream? Thank you so much for the raid. Let's give a shout out and watch some Spooky Spoony in action, folks. Is that Bioshock? It do be Bioshock.
Press R to load your weapon.
What the fuck? Why does Splicer backflip? Oh well, ladies and gentlemen, that was why that's clipped. I'll never know, because of the sick backflip. That's why it's clipped. So it's not Titanic and Horror. It's Titanic Honor and Glory, which is the name of the game that we're playing just now. There is a Titanic horror game, but I've not played it actually. You were doing some Subnautica. I hope you had a great stream. You knew that. Well, welcome in, everybody. Welcome on in. So we're just having a look at the bridge of the Titanic just now. So basically, what separates this engine telegraph from the other ones are the fact that this one doesn't have an RPM dial, and this one is reserved. It's like an emergency one, so if the chain/pulley system that controls this and this fails and fucks up, there is separate controls on a separate system that lets the ship be still controlled if the primary system fails. These ones are quite interesting. So these aren't actually about giving commands. These are about the bridge receiving instructions from the aft bridge. So there is a bridge at the back. We'll have a look at it in a little bit. And basically, you know, when we come out to the flying bridge, you can see that we've got a great view of the front of the ship. But we can't see the back of the ship at all. The Titanic is a certified thick boy. So if you're doing close maneuvering with someone, you need people. Can you even see the bridge? No, not really. Basically, the Titanic is a certified thick boy. So you need people at the back if you're doing intricate maneuvers to help steer the Titanic around obstacles and things. So this is for receiving signals from the rear. See a milkshake because he's thick, yeah. This is for receiving suggestions from the aft bridge about what speed we should be doing, and then you can also receive some instructions from the bridge here, which have some hilarious things. So basically, you've got the slack away, starboard, hold on, all clear, not clear, let go the tug. let go all aft, and basically there's ones for for the port side as well. And that's just basically for communicating information backward and forward. Right, let's go into the first class spaces. Why not? Why not? Why not? How's your weekend been? Yeah, it's been alright, to be honest. It's been fine. Just work. Not even just work, but just like I've got coursework to do. So I did a stream on Friday night. I spent all day yesterday doing my coursework, and then like today I've done a little bit of coursework. Now I'm doing another stream, and it's just it is what it is. Okay, so this, I got this wrong. So this is the winch equipment for the lifts, which are the floor below. What is it you do again, if you don't mind me asking? Can't really talk about it on stream, I'm afraid. Suffice it to say, it keeps me very busy. Plus, I have to do coursework as well for it, so that's basically just a bit shit. So, we're going to come down into the A deck. So A deck is where we're going to start getting some... Is there any cabins on the... Not really. Okay, fine. Okay, so we're now down on A deck. So I think we can have a look at some cabins that are here. So I'm just going to consult the map as we go. The map's quite good because it saves us from like trying to dick around things that aren't there. What this giant like gold structure is, so these are called the expansion joint. So the Titanic had 2 of them, and the Britannic had 4. And so what the expansion joints are is they provide a little bit of flexibility to the ship, because if the Titanic was completely rigid, then like going over waves and things would cause like really a lot of strain on the superstructure, and the flexibility helps as well, particularly when you consider like, and this might not Jesus Christ, thanks Nightball. And particularly when you consider that the Titanic sank because the bow of the ship dipped enough that water could overspill from compartments 4 and 5 into 6 and then kept going backwards. Because a ship is always going to be rigid. But like if you imagine it's got a joint, and I'm not saying that having more expansion joints would have saved the Titanic. But if the weight starts increasing in the front section, it starts tipping. If there's an expansion joint in the middle of there, or if there's multiple, then the sections behind are less likely to start tipping down in response. It gives you like an extra. Probably it wouldn't have saved the Titanic, but it does give you an extra kind of mechanism to help prevent sinking. So let's have a look at some cabins. So basically, one thing you'll find interesting is other than the fanciest of fancy rooms, even the first class accommodation here doesn't have bathrooms in the room. So this is a first class cabin. You can see you've got a single bed here and a double bed. And this is the kind of shit that I mean, of like the Titanic was incredibly fancy for its time. But actually, if you compare it to like a modern cruise ship, like how small is this room? Like, how small is this room? And like, sure, the furnishings are very fancy. There's not even your own bathroom. If you're here and you want to go to the bathroom, you gotta come out, go down this corridor. So this is the gentleman's lavatories. So you can basically see here it's communal baths and communal like toilets. So when you consider how fancy a Titanic is, it's kind of funny how our modern standards are very, very different. So yeah, this is another little cabin. So the A deck is mostly filled with the promenade. So this takes us back out into the promenade where we've already been. But we can come through here, and this will take us to, oh god, it's got physics engine. It's got physics engine. Jesus. So there's a very little, seldom explored space. So this is the reading and writing room. So if you've got a book that you want to read, you can come and chill on a couch. If you've got, so this is more the reading section of it. If you've got some writing you need to do, you can come here with your briefcase or whatever, put all your pens and things and start, kind of writing away in this space here with a nice view of everything that's outside. So this is a nice quiet space for reading and writing. And right behind it, you've got the first class lounge, where basically people can go and just kind of chill out. If you played Titanic and Adventure Out of Time, you'll probably know this space as the place that only gets opened up when everyone's got their life jacket on. The Titanic do be sinking. So yeah, some books and whatnot. It's just a fancy ass lounge ass space. So basically, I think on the left, frame rates. You alright there, frame rates. So this door leads us nowhere. Wait, where does this lead to this door? So there's a little tiny space in here, and then this leads us to, oh, I think this is just some curved space. So then you can go onto the other side, and there is a corridor which takes you towards the aft grand staircase. So we're gonna come through this. Not sure. What's that supposed to be? Oh, okay. So this takes you to the first class pantry, as it actually tells you by the sign. You probably shouldn't be all that surprised by that. And this is the aft grand staircase. Aft grand staircase is smaller and slightly less grand than the front fore grand staircase, but still kind of pretty. Got some cabins here. I think is one of these not the fucking ship designer's cabin? Yeah, this is it. I knew it is. So A36, I think, is what this cabin is, and this is where, oh my god, I've forgotten his name. Andrew. Fuck, God, I've forgotten his name. That's terrible. But anyway, he is the designer of the Titanic, and so his room has predictably got all the plans in it. And this is actually kind of accurate, to be honest. He did bring the plans with him. And so that scene in James Cameron's Titanic, Mr. Andrews, yeah, was his name. Ah, okay, I thought it was Andrew something, but it's something Andrews. Ah, yeah, okay, I get you. So that scene in the Titanic where Andrews brought out the plans and realizes that the Titanic's gonna sink, that, by all accounts, actually happened. He did carry the plans with him, and he did roll them out and realize that the ship was a bit fucked. Ship was a bit fucked. Thomas Andrews. Isn't that right? Hang on. Andrews. Thomas Andrews. Yeah, that's right. Okay, took me a bit. Cool. So that's some cabins. So yeah. So behind this, we've got some nice spaces here. So this is the smoking room. Titanic was a bit of a slut, got banged and went. Jesus, right there. That might be one of the most inappropriate things I think I've ever heard on stream. And I fucking love it. Jesus Christ. Moving swiftly on from the desecration of the fucking memory of the sinking of the Titanic. Hi, Raider. This is the smoking room, so this is where the gentlemen would go to have a fancy whiskey, and to smoke their cigars and their cigarettes and whatnot. Very fancy place. Very, very fancy place. It's like a mixture of a church with all the stained glass window and like a fucking British pub. Oh, they've actually got this space open. Hey Squares! Have you played Adventure Before Time? Yes, Adventure. We're actually just chatting about Adventure Before Time because we've just come from the First Class Lounge, which I explained opens up in Adventure Out of Time when the Titanic's sinking. But yeah, that is a great game. That is a great game. Now I see here that actually there's some quite interesting spaces that are open. So this is the pantry. So this is where the staff would prepare the things for the guests. Now I've not seen this space before. And this is the bar where drinks would be poured for the guests and whatnot. So you got little coffee pots and the wine. Cool. So they are really starting to open up some of the like very seldom seen spaces. Fucking Penny. I miss that. I might do another playthrough of that game sometime. I've been itching. Well, okay. I know that I've got all my coursework that I need to do. But once it's done, I'm really itching for just a nostalgia trip where I just go through like old games that I fucking love and you know, play and have fun. Anyway, so we come through here and we get to two other kind of cafe spaces that are in the back of the back of the first class spaces. So this is the Veranda Cafe, which you know, you can have your tea and scones and you can get wine served at the little window thing. Did you find the painting? I fucking love that Penny gets like shoved in steerage. That game was so good. I love that game. Draw me like one of your French girls. You love the style of this. Yeah, it's really quite a nice space, isn't it? And I think, can we come out here? Okay, no. I can come out here, but not without experiencing a load screen. So let's just go back into the smoke room. And so we can come out here. So this is the Pam Court, which is basically the exact fucking same. But just on the other side. So yeah, cool. So that's it for the A deck. Let's head downstairs and we'll have a look at the rest of the thing. Yeah, honestly, like, the Titanic is beautiful. We were kind of laughing earlier.
Hello! I'm back!
Scared the
Hello there,
fucking
Hibble.
shit of me. Hi, Scout. Thank you so much for the sub. Welcome on in. How's it been? I've not spoken to you in fucking ages. How you been? Yeah, I hate to say it, but I get scared of loud noises, and like my follower noise is just me screaming. Actually, I've got one. I got one that I need to add to my sound alerts. Oh no, where did I put it? Is it in documents? Yeah, this one I was making up some clips yesterday, and I might make this a sound alert. Are you gonna fucking play?
Sub motherfuckers! Sub motherfuckers!
Yeah, that might be I might make that a sound alert. You have no idea how excited I am to see you playing the Titanic. Oh well, welcome in, Arkwin. Welcome in. Yeah, we've kind of been doing this for a while. Titanic fangirl. I fucking love. Honestly, I'm the same. I fucking love the Titanic. It's yeah. I was a massive Titanic nerd. As my mum is very, very quick to remind people, me and my little fucking disabled ridden brain, I as a kid used to be able to draw a profile picture of the Titanic with all of the external details perfectly correct to A3 size. I wish I kept it from memory. No way I could do that now, but like I've always been since I was like yay high, a fucking massive Titanic nerd. Thanks for the thanks Square Eyes. And everything about it, yeah. So basically what we were saying earlier, Arkwin, hopefully you get to hang around for a little while because we've only explored 2 decks, but we've already looked at these cabin spaces. But this is a first class cabin on the A deck, and you see that like it's fancy, But like compared to like a modern cruise liner, there's no ensuite bathroom, there's no ensuite like toilets or showers. It's kind of crammed. Just the furnishings are nice. Like it's kind of weird. You're a Titanic purist. I will die on the hill that the Titanic shot first. So for those of you who missed it, Naked Raider hit us up with one of the funniest things I think I've ever had on one of these Titanic streams, and it is the Titanic was a bit of a slut. Got banged and went down on the first date. Ah, you fucking cunt. Okay. That is it for A deck. Let's head down onto B deck. So B deck's got the first class boarding spaces, so you know you would open these up and board passengers. You're rich and fancy folk who would board on from here. So let's just maneuver the map a little bit. Ooh, so we can get. Can we get out to the forecastle from here? Wait. Ah, I can't get through the doors. And you stand by it. Fair enough. Have you watched the French and the Saunders version of Titanic? I actually haven't. No. Interestingly, I'm not actually that big on TV and films, and that's basically just because I get really, really anxious when I'm not doing something with my hands. So when I watch TV and films, I just get anxious that I'm sitting there and I end up just not enjoying the experience. So I tend not to bother watching TV films, kind of thing. Okay, so there's nothing here. So this is the boarding. Yay. And we've got some cabins that we can explore. So I'm just kind of using the map here. So I think is it this one? Yes. So let's come down this side. So this is a very like fancy kind of place. So this is one of your like big staterooms. So everything along here is kind of all one cabin space. But you need background noise on. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's short comedy skits if I find it is old. All right, okay. So basically, you come in here, and although they've got like individual cabin numbers, they are in fact kind of different spaces. So this is cabin B51, which, as you can tell, has got no like bedrooms and stuff. But this is like the sitting room for some of the richest people that are on the Titanic. You come in here into the bedroom and you can see this is fancy as fuck. In fact, this room alone might be like 40% of the weight of the Titanic. It's just fucking... Damn, it is a girthy boy. Wood paneling, fancy as fuck. So there's more spaces here. So the other thing about these sets of rooms is that they actually come with their own private promenade. So this is basically where like the richest families could cut. Oh wait, they've got their own fucking boarding space. That I didn't actually know until now. That paneling is very sexy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I didn't so I actually didn't know that they could board directly into their private promenade. Holy shit. So basically this is where the richest families that would sail on board the Titanic could come and you know, relax away from the riffraff. Even the riffraff of the fucking the other first class passengers. Holy shit. Let's come through and have a look at. So I don't think this other private promenade is going to be very different. You can't get into this. Yeah, so you can't get into the cabin that's here. I genuinely didn't know that they could board. I genuinely did not know that they could board directly into the private promenade. That's fascinating. So I think there's a cabin up here that we can get into. I think it's B58, 56, so 58. Aha! So this is one of the B cabins. So basically you'll have so you do get some ensuite facilities here. So these are basically, these doors can be locked in order to have this space be isolated for yourself, or if you're traveling with friends and family, you can actually open this door to get into the cabin next to it. So quite often the B deck passengers would be, you know, very, very rich, very, very wealthy. So the family would stay in one of these rooms, and actually, if they were fancy enough, the servants to those families would stay in the room next door, and so they would unlock this door to be able to like get them between each other. You might actually be able to see this if we go to the other side. I think there's a connecting corridor here. Yeah, there is. Okay, so this is exactly an example of this kind of arrangement. So you've got this fancy as fuck room. I didn't realize the decor differed so differently between the rooms. No wonder it sang Scott Hatfield in Rainforest. Oh yeah, damn straight. So yeah, you've got this nice space. So I think these are like bathrooms and things in here. I think I can't quite remember 100%. And then you can come through and you've got like these other spaces. So you can see you can really open things up to make it like to have more combined spaces for like bigger families. So this could, each individual room could serve 3 people or like 1 family. Or, you know, if you were traveling as a 6 or potentially up to a 9, you know, you can basically just open these spaces. Really flexible spaces. That door's open. Let me out. Okay, what else have we got on this deck? So B81 is open. Oh, we're about to see a really, really nice space, actually. So there is still some combined bathrooms. So B81. Yep, 81, here we go. So here is another example of a room. Pretty fancy spaces. Oh, do you know what, Square is? I've got such a hankering from Titanic Adventure at the time. I remember I used to be so disappointed with it because obviously it's a DOS game. And as time started going on, it started blue screening my computer like a motherfucker. So I might need to use DX Winds in order to play it, but it should be fine. Anyway, welcome to the reception. So for those of you who want to eat and eat fancy and eat well, you would come to this space here. Now, if we very quickly go down a couple of decks, just very, very quickly. Oh no, shit, I can't. They're on the staircase. So there is first class dining that comes with your ticket, but these facilities here, you have to pay every time you want to use them. It is fancy over and above the shit that you've had to pay for first class. So this is the reception. You would sit here and, you know, eat some food. And if you're only after a light snack, you could come into the Café Parisien, which amusingly was actually staffed by Italians and not French people. But like, look at this. Look at this. Look how pretty this is. It's easy to see how people could get lost on board. Oh yeah, the Titanic is such a confusing space. And like once we get slightly further into this stream and we start looking at some of the like crew spaces, you will see how much of an absolute fucking circus this ship gets. Because it gets messy fast. So that's the Café Parisien. You got your coats here. And you've got what's called the a la carte restaurant, which is here. And this is an incredibly fancy space. Thanks, Nightbot. This is an incredibly fancy space. And this place is not included in your ticket price. You want to eat here, you pay through the nose to eat here. I don't know if that's like cost. But yeah, very fancy place. Cool. Okay, so that is it for the B deck. Let's head down to the C deck here. So behind there, we're starting to get into the second class spaces, which, you know, we'll explore in a bit. Okay, so let's go down to the C. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so they've opened up a lot of shit in the C deck. So, this has got some really this is quite cool. So you got the barbershop. So the Titanic had a lot of shit you wouldn't expect. It had a barber, it had a bakery, it had a carpentry workshop. So this is okay. So this is the barbershop. You would come here to get a nice trim of your hair and whatnot. Now, we saw this space. So this is the maids and valets saloon. So for maids and valets for the first class passengers, they typically weren't allowed to eat with the first class passengers because social status, and you can't be having the riffraff be eating with the off class people. So they got their own space, which is down in here. Oh shit! Actually, hang on. Oh, can you get into the okay, hang on. I don't know. So I've not seen this space. Let's quickly have a look at the pantry that's over here. So this is where the food for them would be prepared. Oh, there's a door right there. Fuck letting someone hold a razor to my neck on board a rolling ship. Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, so this is where their stuff would be cooked and prepared. And then you've also got another lounge here. So this is for the Marconi officers and also the post workers. So for those of you who might not be familiar with this, the Titanic has the designation of RMS, and a lot of people know RMS Titanic, but nobody knows, or very few people know what RMS actually stands for. And what it actually stands for is Royal Mail Ship. Royal Mail being the post provider for us here in the United Kingdom. And it had a working post office on board, so you could send and receive letters on board the Titanic, but they would basically take a metric fuck ton of international mail from England and take it over to Australia, and not Australia, fucking America. Hence, RMS Titanic. So the postal workers would come and eat in here. So that's pretty interesting. This cabin is open here. So C73. So this, I don't think Square Eyes is still here. We've not seen him in a little while. But this is a nod to Titanic: An Adventure Out of Time, because this is C73. So this is where your character in Titanic: An Adventure Out of Time, this is his room, and the little joke it's got going on here is that is his trunk. So it's got the gramophone for playing his super secret instructions, and it's got an Enigma machine to help decode things, which is pretty interesting. That's a nice nod. That is a nice nod to the. Yeah, that's a nice nod. Okay, let's just keep looking through the first class spaces. So we're going to come back for a little second because there's some things that have been opened up. So we get to see some of the senior staff crew quarters here. I wonder how much post went down with the ship. How many parcels lost? Yeah, that's true. That is true. So the guys in the post office were the first ones to notice that the Titanic was sinking, and they put a lot of time and effort into trying to get the bags of mail out of the place. So this is a space that fascinates me, and we'll get into why in a second. So this is the chief steward's accommodation, which isn't very nice or spacious. This is the restaurant managers. So compared to the crew, and we will get onto this, compared to the crew's, most of the crew's spaces, this is still luxurious, but you can see it's very, very pokey. This is the assistant doctor, so the junior doctor would live in here. And over here is the ship's doctor's quarters. Well, no, this isn't his quarters. Is this his quarters? No, it's not his quarters. Is it his quarters? No, I think it is his quarters. So basically, he does consultations and... So the ship's doctor does consultations and also sleeps in this little cabin here. So basically, you'd sit your patient down on the chaise and you would check them over. I wonder if we've got... I wonder what interesting medicines that we've got. I was half hoping for some like morphine or something like ridiculously poisonous. But you can see you've got all their medicines and whatnot. But also, you've got the Titanic's hospital, which is a place that fascinates me. So through into here is actually the operating theater. So the Titanic did have an operating theater. So you would come through here to operate on any patients that needed. And I don't think it's open. So this is the padded cell. Where are the leeches? Yeah. So this is the padded cell. So anyone who's gone off the deep end would get thrown in here. Now the main hospital of the Titanic has 3 rooms, so you can't see into them, unfortunately. But you've basically got like baths and toilets, and there are 3 rooms which are wards. So there's 3 wards which contain 3 beds. So there's 9 beds in the Titanic's regular hospital, and then you come through this door here, and you've got the infectious diseases hospital, which has got its own baths and toilets to keep them away from the rest of the population. And I think it's 2 3-bedroom wards. I think I might not be 100% on that one, but a very fascinating space. Yeah, anyone who knows me knows that I love things that concern the provision of healthcare. So yeah, I find that a very, very fascinating space. Okay, so there's a space coming out. Here we go. So this is the linen locker. So this is basically where all the patient's linen would be kept. And if we keep going up a little bit, so there's some cabins here. So these are first class cabins, but they've got no windows. And you can see that as we're starting to get lower and lower down into the ship, you're starting to lose space, numbers of beds, windows. But you would still pay a very, very pretty penny for these rooms. So I think cabin C70 is open. So this is C70 here. So there are still some very, very fancy spaces, but you can see that the amount of space is starting to come down. I wonder how they did the ticket pricing. I'm assuming the first class. No, not really. There's only one ship's hospital. So if we go, let's go back for a second. So yeah, the first class hospital, the hospital was for everybody, not just first class passengers. But the way that they got around the riffraff being in first class spaces, so you can go through this door into the second class promenade, which leads to the third class promenade. But there's also this door here, so that patients can come into the hospital without ever having to step on the fancy ass floors. So let's go forward a little bit. So we're gonna see, looks like we're gonna see some interesting spaces that have been opened up. So cabins 105 and 103 have been opened. So these should be just about here. So this is 105. So yeah, still nice spaces, but you can see the quality is starting to come down a little bit. Should be a cabin over here. So 57 is open, so we must have to get into it through this. So this is another one of the staterooms you can see here, where it's fancy as fuck. Holy shit. It's fancy as fuck. But also there's no beds. So you come through here into the beds, and because it's the stateroom, you will see that there is its own bath facilities. And it's so funny when you think that this is like the height of luxury for the time, because I mean, like, bruh, the rivets, the fucking rivets, like, it's just seems a bit shit, doesn't it? And to think you would probably pay more than my entire body is worth for this, kind of funny. This is the purser's office. So from Titanic: An Adventure Out of Time, this is where the purser would live. And in fact, there is a rare hidden scene you can get where the purser kills you here, which is pretty funny. One of the misadventures that you can die in. So yeah, there's the safe. So the purser was in charge of looking after mail and the passengers' belongings. So you'll see here's the pneumatic systems that lets you send things up to. Yeah, so in Titanic and Adventure Out of Time, there's loads of ways you can die. You can go down with the ship. You can get shot by a stowaway. You can get shot by the Germans. You can get shot by the purser. Loads of ways you can die in an Adventure Out of Time. So yeah, this is the pneumatic system we were showing you earlier that sends things up to the Marconi wireless office, safe with all that $100 bill. God, imagine doing a heist on the Titanic. That'd be so fun. Okay, what else have we got? So it looks like we've got one more cabin here that we can explore. So that's this game. No, this game's Titanic Honor and Glory. Yeah. I do have the right. Yeah, I do have the right title. Yeah. Yeah. This is Titanic Honor and Glory, but Titanic and Adventure Out of Time is Titanic and Adventure Out of Time. It's a very old game, whereas this is something that's still in development. So this is cabin C8, and now we're really starting to run out of fancy ass fishing features. So you can't actually get out to the well deck, which does upset me a little bit. But hey ho. So, whereas the aft grand staircase ends at the C deck, the forward grand staircase lets us go down to the D deck. So this is the D deck, and this is also another very famous place that you see a lot in the movies and whatnot. So this is where first class passengers typically eat. So this is the kind of reception, and again, there's more first class boarding spaces here. So this is where people would board the ship. Now, I don't think there's anything of interest here. Oh, sorry, tell a lie. There is. Okay, all right. So we could get lost here. So I might end up coming back to this later. I might come back to the front later. Let's finish exploring the first class spaces, and then we'll explore this down here. Because that'll lead us neatly on to the staff spaces that have been added in. So if we keep coming backwards, okay, there's not actually much on the D deck. So basically, this is the main dining room here. So this is included in your first class ticket price, and you would come here for your lunch and your dinner. On Sundays, all these tables and chairs would be cleared away, and you have church here. You've got I'm not sure if this is a piano or if it's an organ. There is an organ aboard the Titanic, because you can see the pipes for it somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. But yeah, so nice space. Not sure, what does this take us? Where do these doors take us? Deep. Okay, nowhere. I think that probably takes you to the, basically, yeah, so behind these doors, it's not opened up yet, is the massive kitchens where everything gets cooked and whatnot, and there's a whole bunch of spaces that we can't get to at the minute. Wow, so quite a lot. So if we go downstairs again, so this takes us to the E deck. So this takes us to Scotland Road, which is a corridor that runs almost the full length of the Titanic on E deck, used by crew and the third class passengers. We're not going to go there quite yet. So in this space, oh, the Master at Arms space has been opened. That's interesting. So I think there is a cabin here that we can get into. So E23 is open. Yes. So this is. So basically, these rooms can be used for first class ticket holders or second class ticket holders. There is like a series of. Ooh, head forward. Where does this take us? Yeah, so there are a series of spaces. So I'm not actually sure what's here. There are a series of spaces that can be used for alternating second or first class accommodations. So where does this take us? Oh, this takes us back to this space. I see. Okay, so apparently there's a cabin here. Is there? This takes us to third class accommodation. Right, okay. We'll look at the third class spaces later. Yeah, we'll look at the third class spaces later. Fine. So I think then we will. So that space that I said we'll look at in a minute, we'll look at just now. So this is the staircase that we came in here. And this is, you'll get to see where the RMS gets its name. I think. Okay, no. Fine. Let's go to the post office. Here we go. So this is us in the crew spaces now. So you come in here, and yeah, this is the post office. This is where the post workers would work. So you can see you got the mail sorting, the mail sacks, and whatnot. And there's just like a whole collection of things here. You've also got some small cargo. So obviously there's the big cargo holds, but small and important cargo would live up here. And you can come down. So now you start to get quite deep into the Titanic via cargo sent by the post office. And this is where you're starting to get into the territory of some of the first places that the extent of the flooding was like truly noticed. And so the workers were, spent some time trying to move the bags and whatty-notty. So yeah, we can come down here. And so at this point, so yeah, you've got your own little elevator for going up and down, which is pretty cool. So at this point, this is basically where this is the territory where the hull was actually breached when the iceberg hit, because we're below the waterline now. I think we're just about below the waterline. And so yeah, this was truly the first places to start flooding when the Titanic struck the iceberg. I don't know why they're like on the hooks like this, but anyway. Because that just seems like a fire hazard to me. But yeah, so when this happened, all of the postal workers went up and started trying to move these bags to a place of safety. As I get ready. So yeah, that is the post office. That is where the RMS Titanic gets its RMS-y name. So we can come back upstairs. And another fun little tidbit that you get to do in Adventure Out of Time. Is you get to go to the squash court, which is pretty cool. So as soon as it loads, if it ever does load, come on you. Here we go. Cool. So this space here, this takes you down to the squash court. So if you fancied a game of squash, you could come and play squash. I've never actually played squash in my entire life, but yeah. So Titanic had a squash court. Look at that. Let's stay on this deck here. So let's go back. Is it through here? Head aft. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Fine. So that is E deck. And you can enter Scotland Road from here. Okay. So we're going to go down to F deck. So F deck has quite a lot of interesting first class spaces. Are any of these opened up? I'm not sure. So there's a lot of staff spaces here. Not really. Cool, so let's go check out the Turkish bath. Also, excuse me a second. All right, we're back. So welcome to the Turkish baths. So the Turkish baths is a space that's kind of a lot like a sauna to us. You've basically got some little changing rooms here. I think this is like I don't know. I can't remember what the space is actually. It might be the attendance quarters. So you can come through here. And you've basically got so this one is I think the hot room, and then this one is the steam room. So this is literally a sauna. This is the temperate room for if you want it to be warm. You've got the shampoo rooms, so you can come here and kind of wash your hair and get a shower or whatnot. And there is the electric bath, which is probably one of the most terrifying things I think I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. But basically, the electric bath is this horrific contraption that you go inside, and it uses electricity to heat water to fucking steam you sauna style. Those of you who have played Titanic: An Adventure Out of Time will probably have seen that this is where somebody gets murdered. In fact, I think it's Willie gets murdered in here. And it's quite fucking grisly. Yeah. Oh shit, I was gonna say. Okay. Yeah, there's a space in there. Alright, okay, fine. So then we come through here and we've got the so this is this Titanic swimming pool. So yeah. People could come in here, get showers, go for a little swim. And again, like if you look at like modern cruise liners, you would be a bit kind of, you know, it's a bit of a poultry swimming pool, isn't it? There is also, and this got pointed out in the stream, there's this really weird, what looks like porthole space, but like it was there, and there's photographic evidence it was there, but like it doesn't really go anywhere. But yeah, there's always the joke that like, say what you like about the design of the Titanic, since it sank, the swimming pool's still full. Let's go check out the linen storage, because that is a new space that has been opened up. I'm very curious about it. Okay, so we come into here. And so, yep, that is storage space for some linen. This is the linen rooms. This is the soiled linen room. So this is places that, like, linen that's waiting to be cleaned goes to. In fact, actually, no, there's no cleaning facilities on board the Titanic. So, yeah. So then you can come up here, and this takes us to Scotland Road. Yeah, it does. Okay, have we got any other first-class spaces? No, I think that's actually it for the first-class spaces. Okay. So let's have a look at some of the crew spaces then, because these are the kind of nooks and crannies. So you can see that little bit of what I was talking about earlier, where it's like, yeah, once you start getting lower down into the ship, this ship does become a proper fucking maze, and like it is such a fucking circus. So let's look at some of the staff spaces then, shall we? So we go up to Scotland Road. Scotland Road is for third-class passengers and for staff to move around in. And you can see it is a dizzyingly long and straight road. So that takes us down into the linen storage. So I'm kind of curious. So this is the steward's lavatory. So this is basically where the stewards come to freshen up. And there's to the ash place. So I'm exploring most of these spaces for the first time. So yeah, this is what I mean by like the senior staff have got really luxurious accommodations compared to this. This is how the second-class stewards slept. And this is still luxurious compared to some of the staff accommodation that you will find on this ship. We'll chat about that in a little second. Let's go explore the ash place. I'm kind of curious about it. Oh, we're in the boiler rooms. Okay. So the ash place is basically where ash is extracted from the boiler rooms. Yeah, okay. So you basically got like these vents here. So this actually does take us down all the way into the boiler room. I just imagine like, imagine being around these spaces. Okay, let's just have a little look at the boiler rooms here. So basically, Jesus Christ, it's so freaking precarious. Like look at all these little places. And it's when you see shit like this that like you start to realize actually, yeah, like how easy would it be to stow away on a ship like this? Like, bruh. So I think these are like the ash ejectors or something. Yeah, gone. Okay. And so like these staircases can take you places. So you get to see the boiler rooms here. And we can go up. And up. And this takes us up to here so we can walk across. And this set of ladders here will take you basically, so that takes us back up to Scotland Road. And actually you can keep going like all the fucking way up. And actually you can get all the way up to A deck from here. You can actually get out from here, to be honest. But then you got a little passageway here and here. And like, yeah, Jesus Christ, this place. So there's just so many nooks and crannies and like places you can get around. And like, yeah, holy shit, this ship's huge, folks. Ship's fucking huge. Okay, let's try and get down to the boiler room, see a little bit what they look like. So basically, in between the boiler rooms is the Titanic's coal holds. So this boiler room is all shut up and shut off. So this is what it looks like, what it would look like if the Titanic's not sailing. Let's kind of go through this little walkway here, and this is what it looks like when it's open. So basically, the stokers, as they're called, pick up coal from the chutes, shovel it in here. The fire heats up the water, which is basically in these things. The smoke gets extracted through these big kind of ducts that you see up and out the ship, whereas the water gets sent in pipes, which you can see here to be used for the engines. And the boiler rooms run all of the way through the, basically all the way through the bottom deck. So I think is this like the Orlop or? Yeah, so this is the Orlop deck. No, this is the tank top. Yeah, it gets confusing trying to remember all. So you can see the instructions here. So stop, slow, half, and full. And this is important because you can see here. So I think this is going to be the steam chest pressure. I think. No, it's either that might be temperature actually because it's got minuses. So the reason why this is important is that like you need to be producing heat enough to justify what the engines are doing. So for example, if you are only producing a small amount of heat and suddenly the engine goes to full power, it's going to be using a lot of steam, needing a lot of heat, and you're going to run out of steam. The steam chest pressure is going to drop and you're just not going to go fucking anywhere at all. Yeah. So, the contrast is if you are putting a lot of heat into the system and the ship suddenly goes to like half steam, your steam chest pressure is going to get too high and you're either going to have to vent steam, which wastes energy, or you forget to vent. Oh, holy shit, you can. Whoa. That's pretty cool. I didn't know you could do this. Wow. Wait, can you actually move around? Oh my god, you can. I didn't realize. So this is the actual coal chutes here, where so basically the coal is loaded from up here and it just kind of gets dumped in because it's coal. So this this is a nod to something that actually happened on the Titanic. So coal has a problem in that storage of a large amount of coal can actually spontaneously combust. And so there was in fact a fire on board the Titanic before it sank, caused by the fire in the coal chutes here. So you can see what it's like when it starts getting kind of full. So yeah, I didn't realize you could actually move between the spaces. That's okay. That's so fascinating. I didn't actually realize this at all. I knew that they basically were very, very tall, the coal chutes, but I didn't realize you could actually move between them in this kind of way. So I'm very curious if they've got the big Easter egg. I don't know if they do or not. Yeah, fascinating. See, even I'm still learning shit. And this is the great thing about having like a modern digital recreation of okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. So in one of these, in Titanic, An Adventure Out of Time, is you find a special book. Oh, I wonder if they don't have it. Oh, that would have been a fun Easter egg. But yeah, there's a special book you can find that's very important to the plot. And anyway, forward of this space is the fireman's passage. So we get to see the fireman's accommodation. And you'll get to see in a little second exactly what I was talking about. By even the second class steward's dormitory is luxurious, because oh boy, if we actually get to go to these spaces. So basically, yeah, you go up this kind of little windy little staircase. And so yeah, so we're on G deck. There's nothing that we can do here. You can see some cargo. Cargo holds aren't included yet. Let's go up one more. And this takes us to the F deck. Hey Artemis, how's it going? Yeah, welcome in. Welcome on in. And it's not even a roleplay stream. We explore in the Titanic. Yeah, boy. I mean, we are doing roleplay later, but yeah, at the moment we're just having fun exploring the Titanic. So we're up to F deck, which means we are at some of the firemen's quarters. So the firemen's, also known as the stokers, basically this is where they slept. So you can see they've got convenient access to the boiler rooms, and yeah. You've got about half an hour until you have to game. Yeah, no worries. Welcome on in. Hope you enjoy your time here. And so you can see that this is quite royally cattle fucking class. They are crammed together. They are so fucking crammed together. They have very little space for personal storage, and yeah, it's a bit fucking shit. But these are people who, in the social standings of the time, are not very high in the social ladder. So you come up to the E deck. So you got this space above the cargo hold. So the reason for this space here is this takes you up to the cargo hatch where you can lower shit into the cargo holds. Can we see anything here on the E deck? No. Not overlay. Wait, actually, apparently, oh, you can. I've just missed this. Okay. So we can come forward here. So this is the trimmer's quarters. So while the firemen are responsible for, stoking the fires, the trimmers are responsible for getting rid of the waste products, and for ensuring the ship stays balanced. A little hatch here. Where the fuck does this go? Ooh, hello. Can we get down there? Oh, okay. So this is the anchor chains. Damn, son. Damn. So this is where the anchor chains are. Even there's no jump button because my intrusive thoughts are telling me that I want to jump down there. Cool. Okay. So that's the anchor chains. And so what this actually is, this here is the foremast. And because it's such a big structure, it needs to be quite deep for support. So like how in buildings you've got to put foundations down, it's the same for something so big on the Titanic. So it needs to come quite deep down in order to be nice and stable and secure. That's cool. Let's go upstairs now to the Dia deck. So upon the Dia deck, what have we got? What deck that we can look at? Wait, is there anything on the D deck? The D deck has got more fire officers' quarters. But nowhere else we can get there from here. So let's go up to the C deck. And we've got some spaces here. So where are we? We're on the C deck, and we're on the port side because that's forward. Is that forward or is it back? Ooh, okay. No, so this is the windlass in the gear room. So this is basically the gears that control the Titanic's anchors. Yeah, jeez. Huge machines. Oh, hang on. Ladder. We got the ladder. I want to go the ladder. Ladder. Oh no, we can't go the ladder. Sad. Cool. Yeah. So this is basically No, the windlass. So no, I'm sorry, I tell a lie. The windlass will be for the gears which control the ropes that basically get attached when the Titanic's at port. It sounds weird, but when big ships go up in port, even now, they just hold themselves there with ropes. That's basically it. So this will allow, basically you would throw a very, very loose rope over the edge, attach it to something solid, and you'd use these gears and windlasses to pull yourself there. We can come down here. Oh, and we're in a storeroom. We can go down again, can we? Oh shit, so what's down here? So there's more stores, and then below that is the chain locker where we've been. Okay, fine. So we can come back up. So yeah, no space isn't utilized on the Titanic. Anyway, we're still on C deck, aren't we? Cool. So the fireman's meth is in here, but we can't get to it just now. The seaman's mess is here, so this is basically where the seaman would eat. I know there's probably going to be somebody making a very immature joke in a little minute. We're just going to ignore that. And this is the crew galley, so this is where the crew's food is prepared. Oh, damn. Damn. That looks not too bad, actually. Yeah. Cool. This is the crow's nest. So I was pointing out where the foremast started. The foremast beyond this point is hollow, and you climb up it, all the way up it, and you get to the crow's nest. And the crow's nest is basically the space which gives you the best visibility of the front of the ship. So you've got a warning bell here, and you can open this up and you have a telephone down to the bridge there. You can also wave hello on a nice and sunny day. But yeah, this is the crow's nest. Okay. So then above that is the forecastle that we can't get to. So I think we head down to E deck again. So we can get back to the first class spaces, but we've already seen the first class spaces, so I can always just, so there's no fall damage, so I can just yeet my way all the way down, and I think I'm now on G deck. Oh wait, hang on, you can explore. You can explore. Okay, I didn't realize this. Okay, so below G deck is the Orlop deck. So this is cargo hold number 1. So this is the one that doesn't have the car where they fucked. Yeah, okay, let's have a look. So Them be some doubloons! Damn. Alright. Cool. So this is cargo hold number 1. You can tell it's a cargo hold by the presence of a metric fuck ton of cargo. Cool. Okay, let's go on up here. So we're back down on G deck, and we want to get to Scotland Road. Yeah, so we want to get up to Scotland Road. So Scotland Road's E deck, so F deck and E deck. How do I get to Wait, can I get to Scotland Road? Wait, can you honestly not get to Scotland Road from the Fireman's Passage? I have to go all... Oh, fuck, okay, right. Okay, I'm gonna have to go down to the boiler room and back up that way. Oh no, I'm sorry. F deck, so I need to go down once more. This will take us to the G deck. No, do I have to go down again? Yeah, of course I have to go down again. It's a fucking tank top. So now we are at the Orlop deck. And down once more again to the tank top. We're just going to run down this passageway. And into the boiler room. So the boiler room will then let us go back up. The boiler room will then let us go back up to the Scotland Road eventually. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Is there that Easter egg? I can't remember what boiler room it was supposed to be in. 6, not 5. So I can't get this way because of the spilled thing. No, everything's all shut over. Fucking cold doors are shut over. Rude. Most rude. Aw, I wanted to see if they included that Easter egg, but since they haven't. Fine. Okay. Let's get on up to the gangways. Up here. Now, I should be able to use one of these to get me to Scotland Road. Thank you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Such a complicated little ship. Yeah, here we go. It's not a little ship, is it? It's a fucking humongous ship. Okay, let's re-maneuver our map. So we're here on the E deck now, on Scotland Road. Okay, let's go forward of everything. So this takes us to number 6 boiler room. So apparently, okay, so come over here. So there's a series of staircases. So this takes us down. I'm actually not sure. Not sure why that's closed off. You can apparently get down there according to the map, unless I'm mistaken. Anyway, so this is like, I think this is 3rd class boarding here. So we'll explore this space in a little second. So apparently there's a cabin here. Ooh, what's it? So what is this one? Oh, so this is the Master at Arms cabin. Okay. So the Titanic didn't have a police force. As a non-navy ship, it doesn't have like the naval police or like marines or stuff to defend it. Instead, they have what's called the Master at Arms. This is where he stays, right next to the 3rd class passengers. So so basically, like, the societal values of the time are fucking horrific. And the way that like 3rd class passengers are treated are just horrible. For example, men who were not traveling as part of families who were 3rd class were deemed to be so dangerous because of their social status that they couldn't be trusted to not go around like attacking women fucking caveman style, like bonking them on the head. So single men in steerage class were not allowed to be housed anywhere near where there were women or families. So this is the third class enclosed space that they had here, which I actually quite like. It's quite a nice space. Can we get anywhere up here? No. So yeah, quite a nice little space here. Ooh, I'm getting to the crew companionway. What deck are we on now? This is the third class opens, so I'm kind of curious as to where this crew companionway goes. Tracks of the White Star Line steamers. Oh, that's nice. Okay, let's go explore the crew companionway. So we're... Ooh, hello. Ew. Oh, okay, right. This takes us back up here. Right, okay, fine. Fine. So, not really much else in the third class base. God, you can basically bang through the walls. So basically, the first class cabins are like behind this wall here. Take it you can't get up this place either. I'm kind of curious. So this probably no. So this does take you out into the forecastle. Yeah, it will take you out into the forecastle. Fine. Let's go back downstairs. So that's the Master at Arms quarters. I don't think there's anything else here. Oh no, hang on. Apparently there's a cabin open here. Aha! Here we go. Oh, okay. So yeah. So this is cabin 19. So this is where you start to see some of the steerage accommodation. And so you're starting to get into dormitory accommodation. So the front of the ship is where the single men were. So they would all be housed dormitory style in this and kept quite rigidly isolated from the family accommodations and whatnot. Can we get... Is there any open spaces here? No. Not really. Cool, so that's quite interesting actually. Okay, let's actually head downstairs and see what there is. So if we head downstairs, we're into more third class spaces. This one will take us down. Yeah, this takes us back into the crew spaces, but they're not opened up yet. Is there any actual places open to explore here? It doesn't look like there is. I'm glad they did the map for this, because it saves you wasting a lot of time. And this is a huge ship. We've already been at this for like 2 hours or some shit. Yeah, 2 hours actually. 2 hours and 5 minutes. But like, yeah, you could easily just get so fucking lost in this place. So yeah, so this is some third class spaces. But there's not really much else here. So let's go down Scotland Road and see what we've got. So let's move the map back up to the E deck. So there's a place called Glory Hole number 6, which I must confess to being very, very interested in finding out what the fuck that is. Okay, so this is the steward's lavatories. Oh, is that just it? Is it just the second class steward's accommodation? Oh yeah, then there's the other steward's lavatory. Okay, yeah, so that's all it is. No, I was half hoping that was going to be a lot more interesting. Okay, let's have a look at the... let's go backwards in the ship and have a look at some more of these crew spaces that we've got here. Actually, no, let's look at the third class. So we've seen the first class dining room. This is the third class dining room. And I actually think this is still quite a nice space. Obviously, it lacks the furnishings of the first class spaces. And like, it's designed for like mass culinariness. But I don't know, like, I guess because like I don't like a lot of pomp myself, I still think this is like a really nice space. And you can see you've got the watertight doors here because that obviously moves between the bulkheads. Yeah, this is the third class balloons, and there's nothing really else on this level. Okay, so let's head back on up. We're gonna head backwards still. Now I must confess that I've forgotten which way is which. So is there a door open up here? Yeah. Okay, so backwards is this way. Fine. So, whoa. Aha, here we go. So this is the baker's accommodations. Go backwards still into these spaces here. And then this is I think this is the engineer's mess. Yeah, it is. So this is where the engineers come to eat their food. And we can... Oh! Has this space been opened up? Oh, it has. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. So this is the very tippy top. You can't get up these ladders. That's such a shame. But can you get down these ladders a little bit? I think you can, yeah. How good you can. Oh, you can see the engines! So, welcome to the engine rooms. So there would be a lot of noise here, but I don't really know why. I don't think they have audio included. They did have music, but it might just be that something's broken. Oh, holy fucking shit. So yeah, this is the engine room of the Titanic. So here are the big reciprocating engines. You can see you got the... Oh, fuck. This is cool. This is my first time seeing this space in like this kind of like detail and definition. That is so cool. Nice detail in there. So what you've got here, is the principles of a multi-stage reciprocating engine in detail. So basically the way it works is that high power steam goes into the first piston and it goes dum 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 dum, but there's still enough energy left in the steam to put it through another piston. So you can see how the second one is going slightly slower than the first one, and then similarly this one's going even slower. And basically it's actually going a lot slower. But yeah, basically in order to improve efficiency, you run pistons through multiple stages in order to extract all of the energy from the steam. And then you get these little constant mesh gear systems to like keep the speed kind of the same throughout the shaft. And it allows you basically just to like really effectively use the energy that's in your steam. So yeah, here you go. Here's the engine order telegraphs. That's where the engineers would stay. This is really quite cool. Damn, son. Shame there's no sounds though. But to be fair, we would be deafened if there were sounds, because this is a space that would be just horrifically loud all of the fucking time. Nice. Glad to see that space is included. What else we got beyond here? Oh, so this is the crew boarding place. That's pretty cool. Okay, so if we come further back than this, what spaces are open here? So there's a turbine casing. Okay, so this... Can we get up here? Can we get, like, literally all the way up? No, there's a thing blocked. Fine. Okay, so this basically... So this space isn't open up yet. But this is the turbine casing, it tells me. So what happens here is you've got the reciprocating engines, and then behind it you've got the turbine engine. So from that previous room onwards, the engines are here, and it's basically just a long metal shaft that turns the rest of the way till you get to the back of the ship where the propellers are. Turbine engine sits underneath here, and then electricity generation sits after that. What else? Some accommodation space. This is the restaurant and whatnot. This. Yes, this is the place. That room there is the potato storage. Fair enough. So this is the third class entrance. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So this is the third class entrance, but beyond here is the second class spaces. Is there any other places that are open? So I think we're coming to the end of the crew areas that we can reach. I think. That takes us to the second class aft staircase. There's another cargo hold. And if we keep coming back... Okay, so if we keep coming back, you get to the third class grand staircase. Or the third class staircase. It's not really very much grand about the third class spaces. This is a pantry. Oh, and there's a cabin open here. 147. Where is it? Ooh, it is. It's not really much of a cabin, is it? Fucking hell. Terrifyingly small spaces. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's explore the third class staircase a little bit. Oh, actually, hang on. Just before we leave Scotland Road. Because was there something? Okay. I want to see, because there might have been something that we missed. So let's head backwards. So where the baker was... okay, so it's here? Yeah, fine. So past this, there's apparently a staircase. Ah, okay. So this is the escape from Scotland Road all the way up to the Engineers Promenade. So basically, behind this door is a staircase, which isn't modeled at the minute. It's basically just a teleport point. Okay, right. Let's explore the let's explore the third class spaces then. So that's a second class forward staircase. I always forget they had two staircases. The third class passengers only really get one proper staircase, and this is it. Cool. So let's come upstairs. So this is E deck. So this will take us up to the D deck. So let's... Oh, I zoomed that way too far. Okay. So, D deck. So this takes us into the second class accommodations, which is not what we're looking at just now. And then, this takes us to some of the third class accommodations. So basically you can see in third class, they've got absolutely fucking nothing going on. So we've seen the third class open air space, closed air space. This is the third class open air space, now up on C deck. Got cargo cranes. This can take you back up to the second class promenade, which actually we've not seen too much of yet. But we'll have a look at that in a little second. So we can come up again here. And now we're on the poop deck. Well, as a lot of people like to, join. But this is quite a nice, a nice space here. Yeah, you got spare anchors. So basically this space would have been used for like spare cargo parts. Because ships at the time were quite prone to throwing propeller blades, and indeed the Titanic's sister ship Olympic did throw a propeller blade at one point. But this is the docking bridge, which is a bridge I was telling you about, is right at the back of the ship. So you can see here we've got great visibility of the rear of the ship and what it's doing. Now, you can actually steer the ship from here, but you can't really control the engines. You can only really make suggestions, which is the thing that we were talking about when we were up on the bridge. So you can send signals as detailed here for left and right, and then you can also suggest speeds as well, and the bridge will either accept your commands or not. I think I'm right in saying, so I think I'm right in saying that the docking bridge was manned at the time the Titanic hit the iceberg. Hang on, I want to look this up before I say it and get it wrong. Just before I get this wrong. It doesn't really say. I'm wondering if it was the Titanic now. But basically, either the Titanic or the Britannic, the docking bridge was manned when it was sinking, but nobody ever told them that the ship was sinking, and it wasn't until it started sending off distress flares that they were basically like, yo, what the fuck? So there's a little staircase that goes under here. I'm not sure where it comes out, actually. Oh, it goes to the... So this staircase here goes down into this gear and steering room, but that's not modeled at the minute. But if we go back downstairs, we'll get to see some cool spaces. So this is the third class kind of lounge, as it were. So this basically is just kind of like a little pub where you would go to kind of hang out, piano, play tunes. And then the third class smoking room is over on this side. And this is where you would go to have a whiskey and a drink and a schmook. Okay. So wait, is that all the... Yeah, so I think that is all the third class spaces. Cool, so we've seen all the third class spaces and all of the second class spaces. Let's head upstairs. No, fuck. We've seen first, third, and crew. Let's have a look at the second class spaces, and that's pretty much going to be it for tonight. So they're now boasting that they have added they're now boasting that they have added 50% of the Titanic is explorable in this demo, which is pretty cool. Let's go all the way upstairs and just explore it from the top. So this here we've seen. This is the second class open promenade up here. View spoiled a little bit by the lifeboats, but still a nice space for relaxing and getting around the place. So where are we? So we're up on the boat deck at the minute, and ooh, hang on a minute. There's apparently a space here. Is it right at the front of this? So this takes us to the crew companionway, which goes down, down, and down, and then it stops. I kind of want to take this to see where it goes, because I'm exploring this all as well. So this is the companion. It goes all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Ooh. This takes us to linen storage, and then this takes us to the first class aft stairway. Wait, is this? Oh, okay. So this takes us to... Where are we? Where the fuck are we? Ah, okay. Right. Interesting. Okay, I'm kind of curious now. So basically, there's 2 ways out of here. So you got this, and so this is soiled linen for the restaurant, and then there's clean linen for the restaurant. Ah, okay, and then this takes you to the aft grand staircase, and you can go down again to get to some of the crew levels. Cool. Okay, right, fine. God, there's all of these like nooks and crannies and tiny little spaces, and like, holy hell. Anyway, second class promenade. Let's go in here. So this is the boat deck, and we're gonna come down. So this is the A deck where there's nothing, and then we're gonna come down to the B deck. So this is the B deck, which provides the enclosed promenade. And so you've basically got the 2 staircases. So this is the aft mast that we were talking about, so you can see the other end of the Marconi connectors. And again, you can basically see the kind of the foundations of the mast. And yeah, it's kind of funny that the aft staircase and the fore staircase are so close together. But basically separating them on the B deck is the library. Apparently, is there boarding here? Is this second class? Oh, okay. Yeah, fine. So second class and closed promenade. And then this is the second class library, it says. Here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Quite nice, quite fancy. Place to have a drink and whatnot. And then come through here and you've basically got the staircase. Okay, so we're gonna go down a level. Now we're on to the C deck. Oh, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong place. So that was the second class smoking room. And the second class open promenade. This is the enclosed promenade. I was gonna say it didn't actually look all that closed. But dumb of me. Okay, but yeah, this is the enclosed promenade and the entrance where second class passengers would board. That takes us to the first class accommodation for all them rich folks. And this is the door that we were chatting about earlier that takes you to the ship's hospital. So you can go to the hospital without having to bother the first class passengers. Okay, so that was the smoke room. This is the second class library here, which is still a very nice space. I feel that this mast kind of gets in the way of shit, but you've got a little bit of a reception area here, which is quite nice. And this is on the C deck. We can go down again into the D deck. And this takes us to the second class dining space, which actually, it's actually alright, to be honest. It's a little bit less spacious than the first class dining saloon, but still a very nice, well-decorated space. Anything else on this level? Is there any cabins open? I'm not sure if there's any second class cabins you can actually go exploring. Anyway, go down again, and we're now into the E deck. That takes us to third class accommodations. And head aft of here. I actually don't think there is any second class accommodations you can do. This is the second class purser's office, so you can see it's a lot less luxurious than the first class purser's office. And he has to sleep there as well, per man. And they can just knock on his window. Oh, sorry, second class steward, not the purser office. Alright, let's just keep having a little explore. we've got lift here, so we can't go down anymore on this one. So it's basically just second class accommodation here. Let's head aft. So I head through this corridor, and this takes us back. So okay, any cabins that are open? Yeah, I don't think they actually have any second class spaces that are open. So, what's this? Third class accommodations. I see. Cool. Right, a whole bunch of spaces here. Fine. And then we can go down again, and you've got more second class accommodations. Aw, tiny little hugger. That's kind of cute. And then from here, I think you can basically, all you can really do is go backwards. Oh no, there is a division between the ship. Okay, so you can't go backwards into third class from here. This is all just like second class accommodations. And yeah, you can't go backwards into the third class spaces from here. You can only do it from the deck above. Cool. Okay, fine. So other than the smoking room, the library, and the is this the second class purser's office? In fact, this must be the second class purser's office. But obviously it's not open up yet. All right. So I think let me just have a quick look at the map to make sure I've not missed anywhere. Okay. I kind of want to try and get back to boiler room 6 because I think I've missed. Okay, let's get to E deck. So let's go to the forward grand staircase. Or the forward second class staircase. Not all that grand. And that's D deck. Oh no, we need to go down, don't we? So this brings us to the E deck, and this should take us to Scotland Road. Scotland Road we're on. Cool. Let's go forward. So I want to get to... I want to try and get to boiler room 6. Can we not get to the ash? Oh, we can. Yeah, we can. Okay, fine. So apparently there's a space I missed here, so it's here. So to the ash place. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Did I miss another staircase here? So there should be a staircase just behind here to the linen. Oh, okay, it takes us to linen storage. So that takes it down to F deck to the linen store. Okay, fine. Right, so we're gonna go to the ash place. And I have to be careful not to miss this. So I come down here, and this is the ash ejection recess. So this is the ash ejector. And then if I come down again, only one light. So it says you can explore the coal bunkers on this level here, but I'm not seeing a way to do that. Let's come down one. I wonder if we can get in. That one's closed, so I can't get to that one. I can get into this one. It's dark in here. Oh yeah, okay, right now. Okay, cool. So this one's full enough. You can kind of go for an explore. Okay, good. This is what we're hoping for. Okay, cool. So basically, the way that this shit would work. Can't quite get to it. So basically, you'll see some coal loading hatches like throughout the ship. I'm trying to think of where I can get one. But yeah, coal, just so much coal sits. In fact, I think each of these ladders that go up is like is one of the coal access things. And so yeah, basically as the coal gets used, so it gets loaded top down, and then as the coal gets used and thank God there's no fall damage. Cool. Wait, why can't I climb that? Okay. So yeah, as the coal actually gets used by the engines, you basically got the trimmers which need to work to fire it down the holes to make sure everything is 1, balanced, and 2, that it there's enough coal available for use downstairs, because there's no point in it all being up here when it's kind of needed down at ground level. All right, well then. So this was the only other space that I missed. Yeah, it's kind of it's such a fascinating space. You're like, God, like Jesus, how? So where do these ladders actually kind of go? Yeah, okay, so these ladders, so those little ladders there kind of reach up into places where you load the coal from externally. So it pretty much just kind of gets shoveled on in. Yeah, lots of little nooks you can see when you look at the map. That's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Anyway, that is us done this segment of our stream tonight. I just wanted to wanted to do this now that the demo was released. I did want to do it on the day that the demo was released, but unfortunately, because it was peer-to-peer downloads, it took 9 hours. So I couldn't get it done. But yeah, so cool, pretty cool. Lots of new spaces that I haven't seen before. Yeah, and it will unfortunately probably be quite a while until the next update comes out. I mean, it's been 13 months since my last Titanic Honor and Glory video, purely because wait, where do these doors go? Where do these doors go? So where's the fireman's passage? Ah, okay, so these doors here take you to the cargo holds. Ah, okay. Alright, cool. Cool. Fine. Right. But that is the end of our explorable spaces. So I'm going to take a break for a little bit. Probably I'll put a 10-minute timer on. And when we come back, we're going to do some Wild RP. Hope to see you then. If you're only sticking around for the Titanic Honor and Glory portion of the evening, thank you very much for joining me. And I will see you folks basically shortly. Bye.
Oh, I don't even remember going to bed, Hibble.
Well, I mean, you fucking passed out on the couch. It was great.
I don't even remember that.
Oh yeah, you were asleep! Of course you wouldn't! Hey, you want to see my wet organ?
Oh my fucking Christ! That's what
Oh no. Slightly injuring the robots next to them. Oh lord, there wasn't 3 of them a minute ago! Oh, come on! He's fucking vanished! What the fuck? Bruh.
You have to be ruthless in this business.
No, nothing great! Fuck, I'm gone.
I really want that to be my text message.
Sorry, I think I understand it better now.
My transmission, sorry. What the fuck?
Howdy.
I wonder, can we draw 2 of their fire at once? No, we can't. Shepherd was just so confident in the way she vaulted that wall and just fucking ate a bunch of machine gun fire. That was spectacular.
I can hardly see. I don't know where I am.
It's a good idea to do that in the night, Astrid.
It's not been my smartest choice.
Son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
There's an angry lantern coming at me.
You have to be ruthless in this business.
No, not the grind! Fuck, I'm gone.
I really want that to be my text message.
That is one way to celebrate getting to 100.